Welcome back to Batman No Man's Land right here at Comicstorian. My name is Benny and I'll be your narrator for today's video. Batman No Man's Land is an older storyline in which Gotham was separated from the rest of the United States and is pretty much functioning as its own autonomous state at this point. No government help, no superhero help, including not having Superman come in. Well, today we're going to discover another one of Superman's ideas, but what it really boils down to is No Man's Land has broken up into multiple gangs. Think of that game Arkham City, and that's basically what No Man's Land is. It was then broken up into a series of short stories, and today we're going to bring you two of them. The story Stormy Weather and the story The Lizard King. As the military keeps watch over the bridge that once connected Gotham to the rest of the world, they suddenly feel a gust of wind and they see the blue and red blur zoom by. The red and blue blur is none other than Superman himself. But to blend in, Superman flies into a phone booth to replace his costume with some tattered clothes as to not raise questions. He walks the streets and notices a man trying to get crops to grow, and he sees that he's trying to grow okra. The man shouts to Superman to get away, but Superman tells him that he might need some scarification to get these to grow. He takes out a small knife, cutting the outer layer of the seed off, stating that this will help it grow and allow water to be easily absorbed. The man says that's fine and all, but there ain't no water to absorb. Cold snap's been holding off the rain. As Superman replants the seeds, the old man says that he can help them over there at the community garden, though. They have a small setup going at the police station. Superman tells the man, of course, he could leave now. After a short walk, Superman notices a woman sleeping on the steps of the police station, and he asks if she's okay. She grabs her shiv, telling Superman to get away, and if he tries anything, Batman will come and beat him to a pulp. Superman laughs. I'm sure Batman will. The woman then says that it's not safe for them to be here. This is Blue Boy territory. They need to go before they blow her cover. She works for the Superman holds his hand up, telling her to be quiet. He can hear someone coming. It's at that moment that a group of police officers in raggy clothes come walking up, and the girl quietly says that they aren't the Blue Boys. One of the officers takes out his gun, stating that it's a little late for them to be wandering around, and Superman asks, "What's the problem here?" And the man says that it depends. If he'd call being stuck in a god and government-forsaken urban hellhole with a spineless police commissioner and a bunch of creepy mental cases dressed in bat suits, then yeah, they got themselves a little problem. Fortunately for them, they found a solution. This is a mutiny. Independent Sentinel. Private sector militia. What about you, though? You look pretty fit. Do you know how to shoot a gun? Superman tells him that he's heard ammo's hard to come by, and the young girl yells that it is. But ex-officer Petit here was crazy enough to have a Mondo private stash sitting around before this place became No Man's Land. Petit holds up his gun to Superman's head, telling him, "We have no use for old men or children. So if you're not with us, you're against us. What'll it be?" The young girl throws herself into Petit, yelling that the stranger says forget it. And Petit falls back, taking the safety of his gun and pulling the trigger. The gun goes off, but Superman quickly uses his heat vision to stop the bullet. Everyone tries to pile on to Superman, but that's when Batman appears, knocking everyone out. As the remaining of Petit's gang begins to run away, Batman tells the girl and the old man to hurry back home. And once the coast is clear, Batman motions to Cassandra that everything is secure, and Superman says that it would seem that he's not working alone. Batman asks Superman what he's doing here after their last encounter, and Superman asks if he could go to the community garden. There's something he'd like to see. But to answer his question, he got a tip that the techno-terrorist group Locust is still trying to make Gotham its private lab, possibly with an aerial germ assault by small remote drones. The two scan the skies, and as Superman locks onto something, Batman asks if there's anything up there. And at the same time, both men say excuse me so that they can go deal with something. And then they return to their original spots. Superman then says, look, he came to Gotham to check up on Locust, but also walk among the people to really try and understand what happened and what it will take to help. So as the two of them reach the garden, Superman looks at the crops, and Batman says that he appreciates the concern. But they have a good team in place here. Superman looks up, asking if there's anything that he needs other than rain, and Batman tells him that he has everything under control. Superman shakes his hand, telling him, okay, well then, if you don't need me, others might. Good luck with everything, Bruce. He walks out of the garden, changing into his costume, and he flies off. And Batman stares at the crops for a moment as it begins to rain. As Killer Croc is fitted for his new suit, he shouts that he ain't going back to the sewers. They're moving up in the world. Killer Croc is here, and it's time to take back what's mine. Mine! And we're going to expand my territory, branch out east, south, and crush anyone that stands in my way. The tailor says that he's going to need an answer on these ties, and Croc points at one, stating, that one, and the paisley. I got some suspenders that'll match. As the tailor leaves, Croc turns back shouting, you hear me? Crush 'em! Meanwhile, in one of Batman's safe houses on Grand Avenue, Alfred is checking Tim's blood pressure and tells him that he's still quite weak. Master Bruce and the young lady will do fine without him for the night. Tim gets back on his feet, telling him that he needs to go call his dad. But how is he supposed to explain that he can't come home yet? This is the part of the job that's the worst. Alfred says that he understands, but he knows that he can't risk it. And meanwhile, in the Drake household, Tim's father sits by the phone, waiting for that very call from his son. A short while later on the streets, a man with a noose around his neck asks if maybe they can discuss this. And Croc tells him, "You had your chance," and he lifts him into the air. He yells, "This is my turf now! Everything and everyone is now property of Killer Croc. And there's plenty of rope for anyone who thinks different. Now everyone bring me all your food, fuel, guns, and gold." Croc rides on his car, pulled by the people of the suburbs, calling out to anyone to line up and deposit everything into his cart. If they want to hold out on anything, you're gonna get cut off! And now you can live by my word. You can live because I lets you live. The little girl walks up holding her crocodile doll, asking if he can take care of Crocky. And Croc takes the doll, and everyone gasps at what's about to come, as Croc bursts out laughing. He tosses the doll back to her, telling her that she'll take care of it. And then up on one of the ruined buildings, Tim reports back that Croc is making a move on South Grand. Not sure what it's all about, though. Alfred tells him to use caution. He shouldn't be out in his current condition. He'll contact the Master, and Nightwing can deal with this. Tim says that he has no intention of tangling with the Mr. Lizard there, but if he could, and just then 2 of Croc's men appear around the corner and they begin to open fire on Red Robin. Alfred yells over the comms asking, "Is that gunfire? Are you in danger, Master Timothy?" Tim quickly throws his batarangs, telling him that he'll tell him about it later, and then he gets to work knocking the men out, and once it's all done, he reports back that the problem is solved. Alfred says that he highly suggests a hasty retreat. The area is dangerous, and as Tim gets back into position to scout the area, a third man steps out of the shadows, hitting Tim in the back of the head with a large wooden board. And a short while later, back over at the Blue Boy's borders, the boy catches his breath, stating that he has a message for Gordon from the Penguin. Killer Croc is on the move. He's coming down from Grand towards Penguin's turf, and Penguin said that if he falls, the Blue Boys are next. He wants guns sent his way. After rallying up some of the armed officers, Harvey Bullock and Montoya head over to the Penguin outpost, and Penguin says that the adult amphibian is crossing Vital Square heading their way. If Croc takes the district, he'll cut the island in half, and that is bad for business. Harvey tells him, yeah, it's bad for everyone. Soon the dust is kicked up as Croc makes his way towards the barricade, and as they take a closer look, they notice someone tied to the hood of the car. Tim is struggling to free himself from the bindings as Croc shouts, "It's all mine, Penguin! Stand in my way and I'll see you in the morgue. The morgue! But if you take any shots at me, you'll blast right through the boy hostage." Penguin readies his rifle, telling everyone that if they take out the crocodilian, they can take out the rest. Harvey points his gun at Penguin, telling him that he may want to rethink the strategy. They can take out Croc without harming the kid on the hood. Penguin scoffs, telling them that they're fools. Harvey and Montoya then take out small red grenades, stating that they won't be using deadly force. These puke grenades are going to make everyone wish they were dead. As the grenades are tossed, the hissing sound can be heard as brown gas fills the area, and Croc shouts, asking, "Is that all you got? I eat this stuff for breakfast. It's going to take a bit more than an upset tummy to stop me." The car crashes into the barricade, but as Croc jumps into the fight, a man in a gas mask slowly creeps up on Tim. Tim asks if that's, and Alfred tells him to be quiet. The rescue must be serpentipitous if it's going to be effective. Croc claws his way to the front, making his way towards the Penguin, but when he gets in range, Penguin fires his rifle into Croc's chest. The buckshot rips through Croc's shirt, and he shouts that was Egyptian cotton, you bird-brained son of a... "This is my turf, Penguin. Where do you want to be buried?" Penguin laughs, telling him that better men have tried. Much better men, Croc. But before Croc can tear Penguin apart, Harvey fires his shotgun, tackling into Croc, telling him to stay down. After tying up Croc, Penguin tells everyone that that's it! We have them rooted. Croc rips apart the building, stating, "You're giving me a headache. The suit was silk and wool. Now look at it! You're gonna pay with your blood." But just then, 3 batarangs hit Croc in the arm, and Tim launches himself, kicking Croc in the head, telling him that he has to work on his pattern. Tim then cracks him with his staff, jumping onto the nearby car to get away. Croc reaches in, but Tim takes off his utility belt, tying Croc's wrist to the steering wheel before jumping out. Croc lifts the entire car, shouting, "I'll kill you!" But as the car is held up, the axle falls off, landing on Croc's feet. With him subdued, Harvey asks Tim if he's got a place to stay. And and Tim says that Batman has a few hangouts left. As Tim runs off to meet with Alfred, Montoya and Harvey state that he is every bit as tough as when he was young. And Harvey asks when he was that kid's age? No way. With everything settling down, Tim tells himself that he would much rather face Croc again than what he's about to do next. But this has to be done. Tim sits down and he calls his father. He tells him that he's in Gotham, with his father shouting, asking if he's crazy and how the hell did he even manage that stunt. Tim says that there's an old service tunnel and some kids dared him and, well, the path out is now blocked, but he's safe. After hanging up the phone, Alfred says that he does not envy him, but at the risk of sounding patronizing, perhaps things will look better in the morning. Tim jumps in bed to sleep for the night, but the next morning he's woken up by Batman. Tim hardly has enough time to rub his eyes asking what's going on, and Batman tells him that they have a problem. Tim gets out of bed, getting dressed, asking what's going on. Is it Two-Face? Is it Penguin? And Batman says it's not that kind of problem. Look at the TV, Tim. Every news channel is displayed, and each of them has Tim's father telling the world that his son is trapped in Gotham. Tim's eyes go wide as he realizes what's happening. Oh my God. And that concludes this week's chapter of No Man's Land. We are about to enter into Volume 4 of the Omnibus. Oh my God, is this series long? Like, seriously, guys. It's so long. And you wonder why it took me so long to get to this. It's so long. I hope you guys are enjoying it, though. I'm having a lot of fun finally properly getting through the No Man's Land storyline. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as every Sunday we're going to be bringing this to you. And we are finally coming to the last volumes of these stories. We're finally going to see how Batman is going to save the day at the end of this whole thing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you next time right here at Batman No Man's Land. And don't forget to get early access to our videos by going to our Patreon, where you can go patreon.com/comicstorian and support us so that we can make sure you guys get all these videos. Thank you. We'll see you next time.